Welcome to Just Listen Books channel. Immerse yourself in the world of literature as we summarize books and deliver them in audio form. Perfect for your car rides, travels, and daily activities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, first published in 1936, is a pioneering self-help book that focuses on improving interpersonal skills, persuasion, and public speaking. Carnegie's book is grounded in the principle that success comes from the ability to communicate effectively and foster positive relationships. The book is divided into several parts, each focusing on different aspects of human relations. Fundamental techniques in handling people. The section on fundamental techniques in handling people in Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People lays the groundwork for effective interpersonal relations. Carnegie emphasizes that to be successful in handling people, one must cultivate empathy, understanding, and a genuine interest in others. This section is comprised of three core principles. 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Carnegie begins by explaining that criticism is futile because it puts a person on the defensive and usually prompts them to justify themselves. Criticism is dangerous because it wounds a person's precious pride, hurts their sense of importance, and arouses resentment. Instead of condemning people, Carnegie urges us to understand them, to figure out why they do what they do. This approach is more productive and less damaging to relationships. Example. Carnegie uses the example of handling criminals and outlaws to illustrate this principle. He cites Abraham Lincoln's gentle approach to his critics and opponents, which often disarmed them and won them over. 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. This principle is based on the fundamental idea that every human being has a deep desire to be appreciated and to feel important. Carnegie stresses the difference between flattery, which is insincere and comes from the teeth out, and appreciation, which is sincere and comes from the heart out. Genuine appreciation, not empty flattery, is one of the most powerful tools in human relationships. Example. Carnegie refers to Charles Schwab, one of the first managers in American history to earn a salary of over $1 million a year, largely due to his ability to deal with people. Schwab's secret to success was his sincere and hearty appreciation for the good things in others. 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. To influence people and persuade them to follow your thinking or suggestions, Carnegie advises that you must frame benefits to align with their wants. The only way to influence someone is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. Instead of focusing on what you want, you need to see things from the other person's perspective and arouse in them an eager want for what you propose. Example. Carnegie illustrates this with a situation involving his desire to have his neighbor trim their overhanging branches. Instead of demanding the trimming, he suggested the branches be removed to benefit the neighbor's garden with more sunlight, which successfully motivated the neighbor to take action. Throughout this section, Carnegie emphasizes empathy, understanding, and the human need for appreciation as the cornerstones of effective people management. These principles, when practiced genuinely and consistently, can transform personal and professional relationships, creating a positive impact that extends far beyond mere superficial interactions. Ways to make people like you. In the chapter Ways to Make People Like You from Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, Carnegie presents several timeless strategies for building rapport and fostering positive relationships. This chapter is centered around the simple yet profound idea that to make friends and be a likable person, one must genuinely care about others. Here are the key principles discussed. 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Carnegie suggests that showing genuine interest in others is a sure way to make friends and influence people. He argues that you can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in them than in 2 years by trying to get them interested in you. This principle is about putting others first and showing that you truly care about their interests, desires, and well-being. Example. Carnegie mentions the example of a dog, the only animal that doesn't have to work for a living because it shows genuine interest in its owner. He suggests emulating this trait to win friends. 2. Smile. A simple smile, according to Carnegie, can go a long way in making others feel comfortable and liked. Smiling is a powerful tool in making a good first impression and can significantly improve interactions in both personal and professional settings. Example: Carnegie discusses the impact of a smile in various contexts, emphasizing that a person's smile is a messenger of their goodwill and that a smile has the power to brighten the lives of all who see it. 3. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest sound. Carnegie highlights the importance of remembering and using people's names. A person's name is, to them, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Using someone's name makes them feel important and valued. Example: He provides examples from his courses where remembering and using participants' names led to positive reactions and stronger connections. 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Good listening skills are key to winning friends and influencing people. Carnegie advises that to be interesting, you must be interested. Allow others to speak about themselves and their interests and listen genuinely. Example: Carnegie illustrates this principle with a story of how he met someone at a party and simply listened to them talk, which led the person to find Carnegie exceptionally interesting and likable, despite Carnegie speaking very little. 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Carnegie suggests that talking about what interests the other person, not what you find interesting, is a powerful way to engage and captivate them. This approach shows respect for their opinions and desires, making them feel valued. Example: He tells of a time when he wanted to go fishing and, instead of baiting the hook with strawberries, which he liked, he used worms, which the fish liked, to illustrate the importance of considering others' interests. 6. Make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. The desire to feel important is a fundamental human need. Carnegie advises that making others feel important, if done sincerely, can significantly enhance relationships. This doesn't mean flattery, but recognizing and appreciating the value in others genuinely. Example: Carnegie refers to the practice of important figures like Charles Schwab, who made it a point to make others feel important by showing sincere appreciation and interest in their achievements and well-being. Throughout this chapter, Carnegie's emphasis is on authenticity and genuine concern for others. These principles, when practiced sincerely, can not only help in making friends, but also in deepening existing relationships, enhancing one's influence, and improving overall interpersonal dynamics. How to win people to your way of thinking. The chapter, How to Win People to Your Way of Thinking, in Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, focuses on strategies for persuading others while maintaining respect and fostering positive relationships. Carnegie outlines several principles that, when applied thoughtfully, can help you influence others without causing resentment or antagonism. 1. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Carnegie asserts that arguments cannot be truly won. Even if you triumph in the argument, the cost is often the other person's goodwill. Instead of arguing, it's more productive to avoid disputes and seek common ground. Example: Carnegie discusses how Benjamin Franklin stopped his habit of argumentation and became a master of diplomacy, which significantly contributed to his success. 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, "You're wrong." Directly telling someone they are wrong is a direct blow to their intelligence, judgment, and self-respect. This usually leads to resistance and opposition. Carnegie advises a more diplomatic approach where you respect the other's opinions and avoid inciting defensiveness. Example: Socrates' method of asking questions that led others to see the flaws in their logic without direct confrontation is cited as an effective strategy. 3. If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Acknowledging your own mistakes not only shows your humility and honesty, but also helps diffuse potential hostility and makes it easier for others to communicate with you openly. Example: Carnegie shares personal anecdotes where admitting faults led to unexpectedly positive outcomes, emphasizing the power of humility. 4. Begin in a friendly way. A friendly approach can soften the most resistant individuals. Starting with friendliness instead of confrontation opens the door to cooperation and positive interaction. Example: Carnegie mentions Abraham Lincoln's gentle and friendly approach to adversaries and critics, which often won them over. 5. Get the other person. Saying yes, yes immediately. Starting with questions or points on which you agree makes the other person more likely to continue agreeing with you. This sets a positive tone for further discussions. Example: He describes how a salesperson can lead with agreeable questions to create a positive buying atmosphere. 6. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. This principle is about listening actively and encouraging the other person to speak more about their thoughts and feelings. People are more attached to their own ideas and more persuaded by their own words. Example: Carnegie emphasizes the importance of being an attentive listener to learn more and allow the other person to express themselves fully. 7. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. People are more committed to their own ideas. If you can guide someone to come up with a conclusion or idea independently, they are more likely to endorse and act on it. Example: He suggests subtly guiding the conversation so that the other person believes the final idea was theirs, enhancing their commitment to it. 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Empathy and understanding. The other person's perspective are crucial in persuading them. Acknowledging their views can validate their feelings and pave the way for open-mindedness. Example: Carnegie points out that understanding the other person's perspective is key to resolving differences and finding solutions. 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Expressing sympathy and understanding towards another's ideas and desires can break down barriers and foster cooperation. Example: He underscores the importance of empathy by showing that acknowledging and sympathizing with someone's viewpoint can lead to a more harmonious dialogue. 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. Carnegie suggests that appealing to someone's better nature or higher motives often results in a more positive response, especially when the person's intentions might be in question. Example: He illustrates this by discussing how assuming the best in people can lead to more favorable outcomes. 11. Dramatize your ideas. Making your ideas more vivid, interesting, and dramatic can capture attention and make a more compelling case for your proposals. Example: Carnegie advises using showmanship and creativity to make your points more persuasive and memorable. 12. Throw down a challenge. Stimulating competition and challenge can motivate people. This appeals to the desire for achievement and recognition. Example: He talks about the effectiveness of challenging people to excel and achieve as a way to motivate them towards action. Throughout this chapter, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of tact, diplomacy, and genuine understanding in influencing others. By applying these principles, one can potentially win people to their way of thinking without coercion or manipulation, fostering mutual respect and positive relationships. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. In the chapter, Be a Leader, How to Change People Without Giving Offense or Arousing Resentment, from How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie delves into the nuances of leadership and the art of influencing change in others while maintaining respect and positive relationships. This section provides actionable advice for leaders on how to guide and correct others effectively without inciting hostility or resentment. 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Carnegie suggests starting with praise and sincere appreciation before pointing out areas where someone needs to improve. This approach softens the blow of criticism and makes the person more receptive to your message. Example: He points out that by beginning with a positive note, the individual is more likely to feel valued and thus be more open to constructive feedback. 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Instead of directly pointing out mistakes, Carnegie advises using a more subtle approach to guide people towards recognizing their errors on their own. This method helps preserve the individual's dignity and reduces defensiveness. Example: An indirect approach might involve discussing general principles or sharing your own mistakes in a similar area, which can lead the person to self-reflect without feeling attacked. 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Admitting your own mistakes before discussing someone else's can humanize you and make your feedback more palatable. It demonstrates humility and empathy, making the other person more open to your suggestions. Example: Carnegie shares personal anecdotes where admitting his own mistakes first helped to create a more conducive environment for discussing improvements. 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Posing suggestions as questions rather than commands can encourage cooperation and innovation. This approach allows the individual to take ownership of the solution, fostering a sense of autonomy and respect. Example: Instead of telling someone directly what to do, asking how they might approach a problem invites collaboration and initiative. 5. Let the other person save face. Preserving the other person's dignity and self-respect is crucial when they've made a mistake. Public embarrassment can lead to resentment and resistance, whereas allowing someone to save face can maintain a positive relationship and encourage learning from the mistake. Example: Carnegie emphasizes the importance of correcting errors in a way that doesn't diminish the individual's self-esteem or public image. 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Acknowledging and praising progress, no matter how small, can be incredibly motivating. Regular recognition of positive steps encourages continued effort and growth. Example: Carnegie suggests that sincere and specific praise for even minor improvements can boost morale and motivate further advancements. 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. By ascribing a positive reputation or potential to someone, you can inspire them to meet those expectations. People are often motivated to prove themselves worthy of the confidence placed in them. Example: Carnegie talks about how assigning positive attributes or potential to individuals can lead them to adopt those qualities more fully. 8. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Encouragement can make the process of improvement feel more achievable. Suggesting that a fault can be easily corrected can remove the fear of failure and motivate action. Example: He advises framing challenges as surmountable, which can instill confidence and a willingness to tackle the issue. 9. Make the other person happy. About doing the thing you suggest. Finally, Carnegie advocates for making the person feel positive about taking the action you suggest. This involves aligning the action with their own desires and showing how it leads to outcomes they value. Example: By making a connection between the action and the individual's own goals or values, you can create intrinsic motivation and enthusiasm for the task. Throughout this chapter, Carnegie's emphasis is on leading with empathy, respect, and understanding. The principles he outlines are designed to help leaders influence change positively and constructively, fostering an environment of mutual respect and growth. By applying these strategies, leaders can inspire change without causing offense or resentment, leading to more harmonious and productive relationships. The conclusion of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People is not a separate chapter with specific content, but rather a summation of the book's core principles and their application in everyday life. Carnegie's work, since its first publication, has remained a seminal text in the fields of personal development, communication, and leadership due to its timeless advice and practical techniques. The overarching message of the book emphasizes the importance of interpersonal skills, empathy, and genuine interest in others for personal and professional success. Key takeaways. 1. Understanding human nature. Carnegie delves deep into the basic needs and desires of individuals, such as the need to feel important, appreciated, and respected. Recognizing and addressing these needs in others can foster positive relationships and influence people effectively. 2. The power of positive interactions. The book highlights the significance of positive interactions, such as smiling, remembering names, and expressing sincere appreciation. These simple acts can have a profound impact on building rapport and making others feel valued. 3. Avoiding criticism and confrontation. Carnegie advises against criticism, condemnation, and complaints, as these actions often lead to resentment and resistance. Instead, He promotes understanding and encouragement as tools for influencing change and gaining cooperation. 4. Effective communication. The principles encourage active listening, engaging in meaningful conversations, and expressing ideas in a way that resonates with others' interests and desires. Effective communication is portrayed as a cornerstone of successful relationships. 5. Leadership and influence. Carnegie outlines strategies for leaders to guide, correct, and influence others without arousing resentment or offense. These include starting with praise, acknowledging one's own mistakes, and encouraging improvement. Application in daily life. Carnegie's principles are not just theoretical, but are intended for practical application in various aspects of life, including personal relationships, professional environments, and social interactions. Readers are encouraged to practice these principles consistently and genuinely to see their transformative effects. Personal growth and development. The book serves as a guide for personal growth, emphasizing the development of social skills, empathy, and a positive attitude towards others. Carnegie's advice encourages readers to reflect on their behavior and adopt a more understanding and compassionate approach to interactions. Conclusion. In essence, How to Win Friends and Influence People provides a blueprint for effective human relations. Its conclusion reiterates the value of treating others with respect, kindness, and genuine interest. By applying Carnegie's timeless principles, individuals can navigate the complexities of human interactions more skillfully, leading to more fulfilling and successful personal and professional lives. The book's enduring popularity underscores its relevance and the universal appeal of its message. Positive relationships are key to success and happiness. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Your support means the world to us. Click subscribe and hit the bell to be the first to enjoy our upcoming audiobooks. Together, let's continue this amazing journey through stories and tales.